Hey guys. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? How are you doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Yeah, so Becca Scoops here. We've got some stuff to talk about when it comes to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, some cultural stuff, meaning what she's doing on her social media and stuff like that. Then we're going to get into some Dee Dee Blanchard, how they made her out to be a monster. And I have some kind of new evidence that was sent to me by a creator on TikTok and by a creator on YouTube. I'm going to give them both credit. When I get to that point, I will tell you who they are, who I need to thank for this information. And then we're going to wrap it up with your comments and emails because you guys have been busy bees in the comment section and emailing me. And wow, I appreciate it so much. But let's get to what's going on. So apparently, Gypsy is big mad, big bothered. She was caught over the weekend. Let me just bring this up here at some type of like, I don't know. So in California, we call it like either Sam's Club or Costco. I don't know what you got. I don't know what that is in Louisiana. Drop the comments, in the comment section. Let me know where this was exactly at. Somebody got a quick shot of her. Of course, that goes up, all over the internet. And she couldn't take it. She couldn't take that shot. She couldn't just let it go. Just say, okay, yeah, I'm a notorious person. People are going to take pictures of me. I put myself out there. I had a reality TV series. I wrote 2 books. I put myself on the internet almost on the daily. And because of that, any adult would know, yeah, I'm going to get some backlash. And because of my crime, being a mommy murderer, I'm going to get a lot of backlash. And so you either accept it or you can't. And because of who she is, she can't accept it. She has the malignant narcissism going on, and she can't stand any little bit of criticism, even if it's just someone taking a picture where she doesn't look her best. And so what did she do? Well, you see there on the right-hand side, she had to put the same dress on and take a flattering picture to say, here, this is what I really look like, when, yeah, probably look like both. And I don't know what filter she's used. And, as a 61-year-old woman myself, I'm not into filters or anything like that at all. I wouldn't even know how to put a filter on. But I was reading in some comment section where I guess you can put filters on, and usually it'll say when you're on TikTok, like, I guess what kind of filter you use. But I guess there are apps where you can remove that. And so you will make everyone think you're not using a filter. Now, someone my age, I don't have time for any any of that stuff. My heyday of looking my best and caring about my looks. I want to look my best, but I don't care, too much how I look on the day-to-day basis. But she is on the other spectrum where she just cannot stand it. And so she had to go ahead and put that up. But that's not all, you guys. This was not all that went on. She had to then double down. She had to go onto TikTok and totally make a fool of herself. I mean, I'm not saying this to just be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. She looked ridiculous with what she did, lifting up her shirt. Let me go ahead and get to that clip. Let's take a look at that together and then we'll discuss. Okay, guys. Now, here is that clip of her over on TikTok from this morning.
No filter. Okay. Okay.
So if you missed it, she says no filters. So she's trying to say she's not using any filters. I don't know who cares, but I know one person that does care. It's her. She cares a lot.
This is my makeup. Okay. My lips are Charlotte Tilbury. My eyebrows are a pencil by Charlotte Tilbury. My foundation is NARS. Okay. I buy it from Ulta, and if I can't find it at Ulta, I will find it at Sephora. Okay. I also want to show you something else. Again, this is no way to alter this whatsoever. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, I'm going to point this to my chest for a second. Look at my fleur-de-lis. Okay. So I'm going to put my camera right here. Love my beautiful brick wall. Okay. These are my favorite pants. These are my pants that I got, my leggings from Target. I absolutely love these. They are a size extra small. Okay. So if we're talking about bodies.
By the way, they're a size extra, extra, extra small. Just saying. Just saying. Now she's going to get real snarky and real sarcastic. Okay. It's going to be a okay. Okay. Here we go. I don't know. If you guys need to take a shot of tequila or something, now's the time.
If we're talking bodies. I love this song. Okay. Let me make a point to you. Bodies, okay, and bellies that look like, okay, this, okay. I'm no size 2. I'm not flat, okay. Fold it a little. Okay. See my feeding tube scar? See? Okay. Now look. Okay, it's all about angles. Okay, is this at all Photoshop? Now if I do this, which is what I was doing in the picture, yeah. Everybody get a good look at my belly? Yeah, it's not flat. No, I had a baby. Yeah. Yeah, you see these? These are my ribs. Okay? Okay?
Thank you for pointing out your ribs. I don't. No words. I really don't have any words. I wish I did. I just don't.
But it's all about angles. So if you want to look thinner in your pictures, so when you're doing pictures, put your leg out like that, okay? Arch your back a little bit, okay? And then you take your picture. Always take it from above. It'll make your chin and everything look.
Okay. All right. If this was my daughter, my granddaughter, whatever, I would be on the phone. I would be say, "What the fuck are you doing? Why you wouldn't use the F word? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Take that down. You are ridiculous. You are ridiculous." And this is something a 15-year-old would do, not a 34-year-old woman. Right? This isn't how 34-year-old women comport themselves. It just isn't. But remember, Gypsy her maturity stopped at about 15. She's never grown past that point. She is stuck at 15. And so that's where all of this, okay, and all of this kind of, I'm just going to keep playing it.
There, okay?
I can't. I just don't want.
Okay? But when you slouch, everything crumples. Okay?
Don't do that.
Okay, so can we all just stop with the bullying? Okay? I don't alter my pictures. I know my angles.
We all know she does. And it doesn't matter. Who cares? So you alter your pictures. So you use a filter. So you want to look sexy. You want to look hot. That's what you're about. That's how shallow you are. You're all about it. It's all about how hot you can look because you're a 15-year-old. I mean, what else can I say? Everyone at 15, you're in your adolescence and, you want to look good. It's all about, oh, you look so cute. You look, oh, what? The high school thing. Okay. She's stuck there, but she's a mean girl in high school. You remember the mean girls. We all know the mean girls, right? Especially the ones that were in the clique because they were all super, super good looking. We all knew those cliques, right? Yeah. So, this is who she is. I'm not saying she's, I mean, when Gypsy dresses up, I'm not saying she's completely ugly or like she's not, has some good qualities to her. She does. Yeah, she does. She's not, you know what I'm saying? but I'm not going to go that far with it. But, she's average looking, on her best day. On her best day, I would say. And but that doesn't it's not important. What's important is who you develop yourself to be inside, right? Um being a good mother, being a good wife when she becomes a wife, if she becomes a wife, whatever you choose your career path to be, it's all the inward work that becomes important when you get into your 20s. When you start, especially getting into your late 20s, it all like you. Yes, you still want to look good. Yes, you're going to buy makeup and you're going to buy attractive clothes if you can, and all of those things, but not like when you were a teenager, when everything was kind of about that, right? Now everything shifts, and of course, you take pride in your look, of course you do. That's normal. But to her, it's everything. And it's everything that people think she's hot. And I don't know what else to say, but this is the shallow, malignant narcissist that can't take criticism and over exaggerates her own everything. And in this, it's over exaggerating her own looks, and is going to prove to everybody, if it's the last thing she does, that she doesn't use any filters.
There's a difference. Now, can we just stop being so cruel to each other? Okay?
Hey.
Let that sink in for a second.
No, it's not that deep. I don't need it to sink in for a second. You pause for a dramatic pause when you've made a profound point. Dramatic pause. So that's where dramatic pause come in. You're not making any profound points. You are one of the biggest bullies that there is on the internet, telling people not to bully. That's about sums this up.
I remember watching in prison. I remember watching this video from a TED Talk.
She tries to tell this story and then she doesn't end up saying it. And so this is about it for that video. Okay. But then later on, in this conversation, there's one more clip that we need to take a look at. And here it goes. More of the anti-bullying. It's funny how they all, people in Gypsy's camp, her lieutenants and her, minions, jump on the bandwagon of anything. It's like either it's the anti-bullying campaign, when they're the biggest bullies out there that have done like horrendous things to people.
This is so rude. Well, anyway, that picture got posted online, and I was not even like paying attention.
Okay, here she's talking about that first picture I showed you, the sweater dress, the brown sweater dress, and she's going to like talk about it because it really she hated it. She couldn't take it, so she's got to get online and talk about it. So here it is.
Picture of somebody without their knowledge. That's just so rude. Well, anyway, that picture got posted online, and I was not even like.
I won't keep interrupting, but I just want to say, it just reminded me something of the privacy tour. If any of you guys know about Meghan and Harry and how they like made this big deal about, they actually call paparazzi to follow them around, but then it's like South Park made fun of them on the, we want our privacy. We want our privacy. That's kind of what she's kind of reminding me of here, is like, hey, don't take pictures of me, but she wants to be seen by everybody. It's just like the same narcissistic thing as you see with them, you see with her. It's hilarious.
Paying attention. I'm just like super relaxed. I slouch, and it was not a flattering picture of me. Okay. But here's the thing. It is super rude, as most of these things are being posted by women. And as women, I think that we should lift each other up. Like, why is it that women are so...
Like your mom was a woman?
So quick to tear each other down. I think that is just so sad that women are bullying other women on looks. And that to me is just mind-blowing. Because it's like, if you don't have to like someone, you don't have to.
Does it blow anyone's mind that people on the internet make fun of people's looks, like, celebrities or infamous people like her? I'm not saying you have to partake in it. I'm just saying, is it mind blowing? Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Agree with someone, but to publicly body shame is just wrong, because I feel like if you are saying these things to someone, you don't know like what that person's going through on their end. So if you say something mean, even if it's online, like, that's an embarrassment. And I've seen, like, my friend Bree.
Is she like the moral police now? Is she like the internet police of bullying? Does she think there's not like anti-bullying campaigns and people aren't aware of this? I mean, please just stop. Just stop trying to sell yourself as some kind of a influencer for anything, or that you're making any profound points, or you're bringing up anything that is novel on the internet. You know what, you guys? Let's not bully. What do you think? It's a new idea I have.
She has been publicly body shamed on this app so many times, and it's disgusting because she's such a beautiful person.
I don't know much about Brie. I've never like watched a lot about her, but I've been sent stuff where she like spent hours and hours and hours like drawing like mean pictures of people, like making fun of them. So I don't know if you do that. I think you're fair game. I'm sorry. I know that for a fact. I have been sent multiple over the last year, hours on end. She's taken hours to draw people, to make fun of people, to humiliate people. I guess she's not doing that anymore though. So now we're going to be anti-bullies, right? Yeah. No, we don't forget. We don't forget here. We know who we're dealing with here. Okay? So you guys can pretend all you want that now you're on an anti-bullying campaign, okay? But until you go ahead and make sincere apologies to the numerous, I mean a lot of people that you have bullied physically with your little drawings, and I think there's one of her lieutenants, I can't remember her name, that has put up pictures of people like using on TikTok her picture as somebody else. These are things that I get, sent. I don't really seek it out. I get sent it. And no, it's not like the most important thing with the stuff that I'm doing as it comes to, my work on this case. But it is something that is concerning, and that that a lot of people that do follow me, ask me, to talk about. So I'm talking about it. Okay. I think it's hypocritical now at this point that they seem to be making nice with everybody. And where I am not one to not forgive people for stuff, I just don't see a sincerity, and nor do I see any apologies that they've made to anybody.
Inside and out, and these people don't even take the time to know the kind of person she is, let alone see the beauty that is there to be seen. And I've had it happen to me. Ken has had it happen to him. So many people are so judgmental that it's just heartbreaking in the world. It really is so hard.
And when we're talking about these people that I can't even do it anymore. It goes on for another minute. I think it's the same thing. No, I just can't. I had not watched this before I put this up. I knew it was more of the bullying stuff, but I just can't. I can't give anymore. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Nope. Done with you. Okay. Cause it's hypocritical and it's insincere, and I'm not buying it. So let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to switch gears here. We're going to go over some of the stuff that I promised you. Some of the new stuff that I was sent. And brace yourself, because some of this stuff you have to. I want to preface this by remember that Dee Dee was made to be a monster. And I want you guys to think about your own families or your own friendships that have gone bad. Maybe with family members, situations, relationships that have fallen out, friendships that you guys went your separate ways. And if you were to talk about that person, of course, you would talk about that person in a bad light. But we also know that there's two sides to every story. That if somebody's talking about you in a bad relationship that went sour, you would be saying, yeah, XYZ, right? About that person. And then they would have their part to say about you. And probably the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Do we all agree with that? Is that common sense? I think it is. And that's how when I approach stuff with Dee Dee, that's how I look at it. And why I'm prefacing this is because we're going to hear a lot of bad things about her that came out in this stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff you guys might know. What I'm talking about is some FOIAs that came out, but they weren't really made known because of Nick's habeas corpus. And I want to thank Myra over on TikTok and Barb, straight out of context, for sending me these records. I just started to go over them today. So as I do the research, I pick out little things to show you guys. And again, these will be in a longer form video. We're going to combine the prison emails and this stuff. I talked to Mitch today in a deep dive long form video. And I've got part of that script already written about the prison emails. And I'm going to add in some of this stuff that I got today. So it takes a while to make those kind of videos. As you guys know, it takes about 2 weeks to make them if I'm working straight through. So I'm going to be working on that. I still will make these little videos, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. All right. So let me get to the first supplemental report again. And then I've also got some video context to take a look at. All right, hold on. Okay, this first one is a supplemental report, and this was a telephone interview with Detective Stan Hancock with Dee Dee's sister, Claudia. It's a lot here. You can pause to read it if you want. I'm going to point out what I think the highlights are, okay? Claudia indicated Gypsy seemed to be afraid of her mother, but she had never seen Claudinia be mean to Gypsy. Instead, Claudinia doted on Gypsy and spent almost every waking moment with her. Okay. I think that's very important because you're going to see this again and again with Dee Dee's relatives saying that they never saw Dee Dee mistreat Gypsy. They never saw it. That's kind of a big deal when we're talking about the so-called abuse, right? That Gypsy alleges. The next middle paragraph is very interesting when you think about the history of Dee Dee. Now, remember, this is from her sister's point of view. Okay? I'm going to read. Claudia described Claudinia, that's Dee Dee, as a mama's baby who ate when their mother ate, took a nap when their mother did, etc. She said Claudinia and their mother did everything together, and she was also their mother's favorite child. I want to interrupt here and say Dee Dee was the baby of the family. Okay, just for context. Claudia said Claudinia was always different from the rest of their siblings. She explained Claudinia held grudges against people, and their family was loving, forgiving, and enjoyed spending time together outside with each other. She said Claudinia always went back inside and said she did not want to sweat. Claudia said she did not know why her sister was misspelling her name by putting extra letters in it, and she did not do that when she was living in Louisiana. Okay. It goes on to say how Dee Dee cut Gypsy's hair very short, like a little boy's hair. Claudia said they must have something wrong with Gypsy because Claudinia called her from a payphone at a Ronald McDonald House in New Orleans, saying Gypsy had just had another surgery. Claudia said when Gypsy was young, Claudinia was in a bad accident and had to live with their father and stepmother for a while. She said although Gypsy had a feeding tube, she ate regular when her mother was not around. Claudia said Gypsy also got out of her wheelchair and ran around when her mother was not looking. She said after their father, Claude Sr., and the oldest brother, Claude Jr., confronted Claudina and told her to stop acting like Gypsy could not walk, she left and did not keep in context with the family. Claudia said Claudina later obtained credit cards in their father's name and older brother's name, which burned her bridges with them. Okay. All right. Again, we take into context with these things, right? Um, I'm just putting it out there as evidence, and I will give you my thoughts on this when we get through this. Now, I do want to add something. We're going to get to the next part I'm going to read is about Laura. Laura is the stepmother. We're going to see a little video on her in a minute. She was Claude's second wife after Emma, who was Dee Dee's mother, who was the mother of all the siblings, died. And Laura and Dee Dee did not get along. They did not like each other. Dee Dee felt that maybe her father, this is allegedly, was seeing Laura while the mom was still alive, that he was having an affair. And this made Dee Dee very angry at her dad. And there's a good possibility probably this might have been happening. I don't know that for a fact, but it might also give context to why Dee Dee was so like hated Rod so much when he, was found to be cheating, that it was this thing also, from her own childhood, from her own family, her own nuclear family. And she didn't like this about her dad. I also want to add that the father, Claude, probably had other reasons for not liking Dee Dee, besides that at this time, you have to remember when all of these people are speaking to law enforcement, it's kind of come out that Dee Dee was this bad person, right? That she was the reason for a lot of this. So let's take a look at Laura. Laura, who her and Dee Dee hated each other. All right. Now this kind of gets crazy. I'm gonna say that because this is this whole thing about being poisoned with Roundup and all of that. Okay, Laura said when she and Claude were taking care of Claudine and Gypsy while Claudinia's foot was healing, Claudinia put poison in her food. We're gonna get to is this true or not in a minute, and you're gonna be surprised about how this story came about. Laura said one day Gypsy told Claude. Gypsy told Claude she knew why Laura was sick. She said her mother was putting the same thing in Laura's food that she had been putting on Claude's cactus. Laura explained Claude had a beautiful cactus that he treasured, but it died. Laura said Gypsy claimed her mother had put the same vitamins on the cactus that she put on Laura's food. Now I want to stop here for a moment. Why would Gypsy think that the vitamins made the plant die? If there's any truth to this, which I don't think there is, but right? Laura said Gypsy claimed her mother had put the same vitamins on the cactus that she put in Laura's food. Well, vitamins are good. But again, in the first part, it says Gypsy knew why Laura was getting so sick. It was because of the vitamins. Yeah, I don't know what's really behind this story, but I think we do not know all of this. And obviously, if this woman would have been poisoned with Roundup, she would have been dead. Okay, I'm going to show you some proof about that. Laura said she was so sick she had to stay in bed for 9 months. You don't stay in bed for 9 months. No, Roundup's out of your system pretty quick. So is she saying that Dee Dee was giving her this every day? She would have been dead. She would have been dead. Wouldn't have taken 9 months. Okay. She described Dee Dee as evil and a smooth talker, adding Claudinia is going to make you believe anything. Laura said it was possible Claudinia was doing this. Let me preface this also. They don't know Dee Dee's dead yet. When Laura is saying these things to the detective. So the detective calls and says, "Hey, Dee Dee and Gypsy are missing." And this is what Laura says. Laura said it was possible Claudinia was doing this going missing for Rod to go check on her. She suggested I call him and talk to him about it. I asked Laura if Claudinia lies, and she said yes. Oh God, yes. Laura said Gypsy was born healthy and was not sick. We know that's not true. We know that's not true right there. But Claudinia wanted her ex-husband to take her back. So to get his attention, she put Gypsy in a wheelchair and stopped her from walking. So according to Laura, Dee Dee put Gypsy in the wheelchair to stop her from walking so Rod would come back. This is the kind of rumor and gossip that happens in families when there's problems, right? Certain little truths about something gets twisted into so that you can make someone look good or bad, right? Laura said Gypsy later actually got sick and Claudinia was not feeding her. This whole thing about Dee Dee not feeding Gypsy is really wild too when we know the truth about that. So she had a feeding tube put in. So yeah, Dee Dee just went to the doctor and said, you know what? I'm starving her. This whole thing about Dee Dee starving her and then later Dee Dee starving the mom is just wild. What do you mean Dee Dee was starving the mom? We're going to get to that because that doesn't make any sense either. She said Gypsy's father has to pay child support as long as Gypsy is disabled. No, Rod has to pay child support as long as Gypsy and as long as she's a child until she reaches 18. See what these people oh, okay. Laura stated before Claudinia moved away, she was in a car accident. Claudinia claimed her foot was severed. How do you claim your foot is severed if it's not? I mean, are you? It was only cut and had some bones were broken. Laura said while Claudinia was healing, she and Claude allowed Claudinia and Gypsy to live with them. She said Gypsy ate regular food and ran around the house until Claudinia was around, at which time Gypsy stayed in her wheelchair. Laura said when Claudinia left the residence, Gypsy would again get out of the wheelchair, run around, and play with the other kids. All right. I want to say that when it comes to Roundup real quick, and then we're going to get to a video of Claude, the dad, and Laura, and some other things about this Roundup thing. But here, I did a little research into this. Recovery time from the Roundup is basically 24 to 72 hours. It gets out of your body a few hours to a day. And if she was actually giving it to her every day, like she said, I'm in bed for 9 months. Well, number one, are you going to the doctor? And number two, no, if she was actually poisoning you, you would die from this. You would have organ failure. So I don't believe it. And then if Gypsy's the one saying it, there's just something really weird with that. Do you guys agree? There's just something really missing with this whole story. All right. Let me go ahead and get this video clip and let's listen to them in their own words, shall we? All right, guys, let's take a look at this video. I do have to pause it momentarily for copyright, so bear with me.
Dee Dee like as a child?
Do what, baby?
What was Dee
Again, just for reference, this is, of course, Dee Dee's father and the stepmother who they hated each other, the stepmother, Laura.
Dee like as a child?
What was Dee Dee like?
Dee Dee? She was okay. We were pretty close, me and her. Yeah, I'd give her everything that she wanted anyway, whatever she wanted, and except a dog in the house. I didn't want that. Now we wind up, we got 2 dogs in the house. But she was something else.
Okay, now Laura's going to weigh in. There's Dee Dee. That's when she was the ROTC queen. I think her senior year in high school.
She was a very filthy person. If it didn't go her way, she'd see to it that you would pay. And did we pay? Paid a lot.
She opened up credit cards in my dad's name.
I want to pass by, this is the cousin that gives Gypsy the tattoos. I want to pass over him because he has been from day one pro Gypsy. He's not objective. He got really into the social media aspect of it. Like he really thought he was a celebrity too. He's not credible at all. He was too young to remember anything. He is not really part of this.
She was poisoning my stepmother.
My food, the same thing she had put in the plant.
This is about the poison.
She was doing all kind of stuff.
She was poisoning my stepmother. Supposedly she was giving her some Roundup in her food and stuff.
She was putting some poison in my food.
So remember, this is told to them according to the supplemental report when they spoke with the detective. Gypsy was the one that told them this. Vitamins, remember vitamins.
Thing she had put in the plant.
And she wound up, she stayed 9 months in bed. After that, she couldn't get up. I didn't think she was going to make it.
There was no.
So didn't they go to the hospital? I don't understand. Didn't they press charges? What's going on here? So Gypsy's there telling them, Gypsy's in the house. I know why she's sick, but they just let her lay in bed and they don't go to the doctor and they don't call the police.
She couldn't get away with. Her mom was a little bit like her.
Yeah, her mom.
Now again, they're going to demonize the first wife, the mother.
Too. Her mama was a shoplifter and all kind of stuff. I remember the time she had to go to court for shoplifting and other
She'd
stuff
go to
like
the
that.
washateria, she'd steal the people's clothes. She had stolen how much money from your daddy?
Oh, before I got married, she had stolen, I think it's $3,000 or $4,000 from my daddy.
Now here comes Christy with this crazy story too. Okay, so this is where a lot of this Dee Dee is a monster comes from. Okay, at best we know that Dee Dee got in trouble for bad checks. But and then there are some allegations of the credit card fraud. Okay, I can say that probably those two things are legitimate, and the shoplifting, like at Hobby Lobby later with Gypsy and stuff. But this portion, you have to understand how a smear campaign happens. This portion takes it to the next level. She's so evil. She's poisoning people. And now we're going to listen to what Christy Blanchard says about Dee Dee. And it's well known that Christy has always hated Dee Dee and tells these stories. I won't get into them right now, but there's one story that Christy likes to tell over and over again when she was trying to marry Rod, and that Dee Dee went to the priest and was saying, we're still married or something. I don't know. But Christy seems to fixate on that story. And now here we go. This is from the documentary, the Pro Gypsy documentary.
I think ever since my grandmother died, Dee Dee kind of went off the deep end.
The day that her mom died, Dee Dee was in the house somewhere and Dee Dee was starving her.
Okay. Excuse me. I just have a few questions here. So when Dee Dee's in the house with the mom, how would you know this? She's starving her unless other people are there. Are there other people there that are allowing her to be starved? And does anyone have any idea how long it takes for someone to die of starvation? A very long time, not a couple days. Okay. So I want to know what's going on with this family. Is Dee Dee just like this evil person that does all these things and they're just cowering in the background? Oh, she's starving mom, but there's nothing we can do about it. We better not feed mom. Dee Dee won't feed her, but we'll go ahead and let her starve. This doesn't make sense. I mean, comment. Tell me if I'm crazy with what I'm saying, or does this not make sense?
Like Dee Dee wasn't giving her anything to eat. I asked her sister, I was like, I hate to ask this, but you think Dee Dee had anything to do with her mom's death?
Oh my God. See? And you guys know, I am not one to say I want Dee Dee canonized a saint. I never say that. I want the truth about it, though. The truth, not villainizing someone, not demonizing someone. I want the truth. And this doesn't sound like the truth. This sounds like a smear campaign because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
And she, said, now I wonder. That's how evil.
Now I wonder. And so then all the people watching the documentary are like, I remember when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, she's evil, but I wasn't thinking critically about it. I'm just watching it. You think critically about it. You're like, well, wait a minute. How could you starve someone? The matriarch of this family with like 6 kids coming in and out of the house. How does that with a husband there? How is someone starved? That's not even plausible.
Well, she was.
To leave your mama dirty and asking for food and not want to feed her.
Well, excuse me, wasn't he there? What do you mean she was asking for food and Dee Dee didn't get it? So then can someone else get it? Do you see how dumb this sounds? Do you see how ridiculous this sounds?
That's evil.
Okay.
Were you sad at all when you heard she was dead?
Me? I didn't believe it.
It didn't.
It just didn't sink. It took a few days before, I didn't believe that she was dead.
So now they're giving their, their feelings about when they found out she was dead. I actually have in the documents I was sent the phone call, the record of the phone call when the deputy called them and told them about it. I'll share that in the next video.
I thought it was another one of her tricks.
I was like, who did Dee Dee piss off now? What?
I can't stand this guy. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't say that to stay objective, but I really just the things I've seen, what he was doing on Facebook when this first happened. I mean, he was all about the notoriety of it. He was all about the notoriety of it. It's why he stayed pro Gypsy. He has no idea. He was too young when all of this was happening to really know anything about it.
What kind of shit did Dee Dee get into? I wasn't thinking, oh my God, my aunt's dead. Because I figured that one day she pissed off somebody to that point, And I actually did think that it'd probably be Gypsy, And whenever we later got the word that Gypsy was fine and she was by her boyfriend's house, we were like, she killed her mom. She finally did. She couldn't take it anymore, She finally just said, fuck it all. I'm killing this bitch.
I really have no words for these people. Yeah, I don't think there's it's a rarity for someone to inhabit that sort of evilness in them, right? We don't find those people really in life. Like no one is all good or all bad is what I say. And of course there's the rare individuals, there are people that are actually saints, that lead this such a virtuous life that they're extraordinary. And then you've got the extraordinarily evil ones, but really most of us fall somewhere in the middle where I think Dee Dee probably fell, yet they are making her out to be like Ed Gein. You guys, there's a Netflix. I couldn't even watch the whole thing about the serial killer from the 1940s and 50s, or a Ted Bundy, or someone that is so extraordinarily evil is the way they're trying to make her out to be. And it just shows their bias. It just shows their bias, in my humble opinion.
You think she got what she deserved?
According to
Yes.
the Gypsy, yes.
They think she deserved to die. She deserved to be murdered. Her own father. Her own father. Yeah, her own father. I mean, the stepmother, fine. She's not blood related, but this is her father saying it. He's just going along with it. Really angers me, I'll be honest.
She got what she deserved.
And all the brothers and sisters don't care about Dee Dee no more. Gypsy,
He says all the brothers and sisters don't care about Dee Dee no more.
she got cremated. She said, "What you want me to do with the ashes?" Everybody said, "I don't want her. I don't
Regardless
want
of
her."
flushing.
I don't flush that in the toilet.
Flushing his own daughter's ashes. It didn't actually happen, but he thinks it's funny. He said, flush him down the toilet, his own daughter's ashes.
Her
It's so
sister
funny.
said,
Look at
flush
him
that
laugh.
in the toilet.
She said, "We're gonna bring that in Mama's room, make her mask and everything." I said, "You gonna pay for it?" "I'm not paying for it. You gonna get that?" They said, "We can't afford it." I said, "Flush it in the toilet."
Speechless. Yeah, speechless. So that's some of the demonization of Dee Dee. I think it's important that we see it, we look at it, because that is the other side of this. That is what the public was fed. That's why everyone hated Dee Dee. And it started with them. And it just kind of took off from there, And so, yeah, I want to get to one more thing, what Rod and Stephanie, Rod Blanchard said, and then what Nick's mom said. This was right after the arrest. The detective said, I asked Rod if he had any concerns about Claudinia. He said she was a liar, but not over the top. I want to repeat that. He said she was a liar, but not over the top. I think that's probably the truth. Where everybody else is saying she was this habitual liar, this pathological liar, this blah, 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 blah. Yes, there were some things that Dee Dee lied about. And I think Rod is telling the truth here, but not over the top, not like crazy liar, right? I asked Rod if he had seen Gypsy walk, and he said he had not. I advised him she could walk, adding, I saw her walk when I saw her on the news. Rod said he now knew Gypsy could walk after the media coverage of this crime. Now, this is Stephanie Goldhammer. This is Nick's mom's talking to detectives. And this is sad. As many of you know, Stephanie took her own life around the same time as the anniversary of this murder. Well, she overdosed. It was, I can't say allegedly took her own life. That's not, has not yet been confirmed, but many people that knew her have told me they think that's true. So again, allegedly. Stephanie was asked if there was anything she wanted to talk about. Stephanie said she wanted everyone to know, as much as she and her family had tried to get Nicholas to realize there were other people to date besides Gypsy, he would not, and he would get upset with them for saying those things. Stephanie said Nicholas had always been a good kid, and she never had any problems with him. Stephanie said Nicholas has never become angry and assaulted her. She went on to explain, usually when he gets frustrated, he cries. Stephanie said she almost felt like Nicholas was safer being in jail, as he would not have contact with Gypsy. Stephanie stated several times throughout the interview that Nicholas had never been violent before. Stephanie also requested that if I was to have contact with Nicholas prior to returning to Springfield, Missouri, that I tell him that she and his stepdad love him and that they would be visiting him. Just heartbreaking stuff, guys. All right. I want to get to some comments. I didn't get to some funny things. Gypsy calling Ken a Turkish toad in the prison emails, and some other there's so much in this new supplemental report that I have. So I'm excited to be sharing that with you. Probably doing a live coming this weekend. So look for that, because I want to get all of this together and, have it ready to present in the right way. But let's go ahead and look at some comments from you guys. Here we go. All right. This is from my video where Gypsy was, begging, wanting a ring and stuff like that. Angela says, publicly begging and trying to force a man to marry is desperate. And the next comment, she's so in love watching herself. Scandalous 24 says, every time I hear someone defending her because she was abused and sickly, I feel the same way. I can't. I just can't. Rhonda says, she is just making it up as she goes along. Gypsy knows she is busted. Oh, please, chick, give me a break. Becca, I love you when I love you when you say I can't, Gypsy, and start laughing. It cracks me up because I feel exactly the same way. I'm 61. So am I. Yeah. And maybe can detect total bullshit like you, Becca. Thank you for exposing this narcissistic killer. Love your shows. Thank you so much, Rhonda. All right. Let's get to a few others. This one was from the GRB Snark. Snow Bunny 3910 writes, she won't get a job. She's too lazy. She just wants to shove the baby in a pen and ignore her or dump her off on Christy to take care of. She never matured past the teenage years. Absolutely. Adults get jobs. Adults don't spend all their days online clapping back at haters. Thank you. They don't worry all day about what other people think. They just get the job done. Gypsy isn't an adult. She's an immature, impulsive cringy 34-year-old with the mentality of a 15-year-old. Exactly. Her brain is done developing. At 34, this is who she is always going to be, a woman who will always need someone to take care of her. Thank you, Snow Bunny 3910 and GRB Snark. This is one email that I received. I'm going to keep it anonymous at this point. Hello again. I haven't seen or heard anywhere if you had talked about how, hold on, guys, got to put my glasses on. It's a little small. I haven't seen or heard anywhere if you talked much about Gypsy's missing medical records from before the hurricane. You've been talking a lot about the records you have, but I was wondering, wasn't it said that there were medical records destroyed by the hurricane? Was it just something Dee Dee said or something that Gypsy used as an excuse? Is it possible that there were other procedures that Gypsy went through that don't have records because of the hurricane? I'm fully against Gypsy and don't believe a word she says, but it's something I think about every time you bring up record proof about the few procedures she's had. Thank you. You're doing an amazing job at keeping pressure on Gypsy every time she lies. Keep it up. Great questions. Great questions here. All right, let me see if I can break these down for a minute. All right, as far as the hurricane goes, yes, I did look up that Tulane Medical Center had flood damage. Okay. I also know that that Dee Dee did sign documents, medical release, so that those medical places, those hospitals, would send Gypsy's records to the new hospitals in Missouri. So, in fact, I have seen proof. I've had it in a video where Dee Dee did sign medical release forms to the appropriate hospitals in Louisiana that Gypsy was at prior to the hurricane, that she did finally release those documents, those medical records. Okay. So the other question you had that was really good, is it possible there were other procedures that Gypsy went through that we don't have records for? Great question. Great question. No, I don't think so. And here's why. After studying this case for over a year and studying all the the documents that come with it, the medical records come with it, along with the pro Gypsy documentaries that have come out, all they say is they allude to the procedures that I have documented myself. What I'm trying to say is, if there were another surgery or other major procedures that I didn't know about, they would have mentioned them already. Somewhere I would have come across them. Even if I don't have all the medical records, they would have mentioned them either in her memoir, in her book, or in any of the pro Gypsy documentaries. Sorry, can't talk right. So because I've watched all of those over and over again, and I've listened and I've taken notes on everything, I am 99.9% positive than what I have posited to you, what I presented to you as the major surgeries and procedures that Gypsy had were exactly what I have shown you. That no, there aren't any other major procedures or surgeries that Gypsy's had that we don't know about. I hope that clears that up. I'm very confident in that fact. Very confident. Almost 100% confident. 99.9%. Okay? I mean, basically that's 100%. So, I hope that answers your question, because it's an important question. It's a very important question. If there was something else that happened to Gypsy that we didn't know about, well, that would be an issue. That would be a problem, right? That would be like, well, what was it? Did Dee Dee have her kidneys removed? Did Dee Dee, right? I mean, no. What I have presented again is the totality of the major procedures and or surgeries she has. And it's only 4, including the eyes. And you can find those in my many videos. I've gone over them over and over again. All right. Sorry, I had a little tongue tied there. Sometimes I get that way. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. And yeah, it was kind of an impromptu video after I saw the bullying. I'm like, I got to do a video on the bullying, but let me bring up some other of the research that I've been doing lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this weekend, look forward to a live stream where I will be sharing more of the research I'm going into now, of the new documents that I've had. Thank you to Myra and Barb from Straight Outta Context for sending me those. And thank you to all of you who loyally tune in to watch my videos. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It keeps me going. It keeps me sane. If I get down and then I see your comments or see your email, it gets me through the day. So thank you guys so much for being there and being this community. You know, I'm just one little small part of this community. You guys are the community. You're the fire. You're the engine that moves this community to get this word out to more and more people until we reach the mainstream and the truth, the final truth about Dee Dee and Gypsy will be known. I feel confident in that fact. All right. If you like this content, please, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, think about it. If you're not a member and you wish to support me in a bigger way, please become a member. I would really appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Becca Scoops out. Have a great night, guys.